Suprabhat, good morning and a warm welcome. I invite chairman and functional directors to please take their seats on the dais. Welcome, sir. Good, sir. Good morning, sir. Golden Jubilee. Thank you, sir. Same to you. Good morning, sir. आपको भी, sir. Good morning, sir. आइए, sir. Good morning, sir, and hearty congratulations to you. Madam. Good morning, ma'am. Welcome to you. Good morning, sir. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Welcome to our meeting, sir. Good morning and warm welcome to the Indian Oil R&D Golden Jubilee function. Today is our 51st Foundation Day and we are all brimming with pride. वर्ष 50 परिश्रम का हृदय में आज करे कलरव स्वर्ण जयंती की बधाई सबको शुभ हो सबको यह पावन उत्सव. On the auspicious occasion of the glorious Golden Jubilee of Indian Oil R&D, I extend warmest greetings and heartiest congratulations to everyone. I warmly welcome you all to this ceremonial occasion, which is a significant milestone in our institution's history. I extend a warm welcome to our founding fathers and Indian Oil R&D's former heads. A warm welcome to Mr. A.K. Arora, Dr. A.K. Bhatnagar, Mr. N.R. Raje, Mr. B.M. Bansal, Dr. R.P. Verma, Dr. R.K. Malhotra, and Mr. B.P. Das. Thank you so much, sirs, for being with us today. बहुत आदर एंड सम्मान के साथ आज आपका इस कार्यक्रम में हार्दिक अभिनंदन, हार्दिक स्वागत है. On behalf of Indian Oil R&D, a special welcome to the head of Indian Oil family, our chairman, Mr. Shrikant Madhav Vaidya. Warmly welcome the head of Indian Oil R&D family, our Director R&D, Dr. S.S.V. Ramkumar. A warm welcome to Director HR, Mr. Ranjan Mahapatra. Warm welcome to our Director Finance, Shri Sandeep Gupta. A warm note of welcome to Director Marketing, Mr. Satish Kumar. Warm welcome to Director Pipelines, Mr. D.S. Nanavare. A warm welcome to Director Refineries, Ms. Shukla Mistry, Madam. Hearty welcome to Director Planning and BD, Mr. Sujay Chaudhary. It is indeed a moment of pride and encouragement to all of us at R&D to have you in our midst, to have in our midst our functional directors and chairman of the Indian Oil Board. Thank you so much, sirs and ma'am. Heartiest welcome to our special invitees, our senior colleagues and leaders who have built this institution with their sweat and toil. We salute you all, sirs, and thank you for your presence here today. A warm welcome to you, sirs. A big warm welcome to all our colleagues gathered here in the Servo Auditorium today. This auditorium, packed to capacity, shows the keen fervor and enthusiasm of the entire Indian Oil R&D family for this much-awaited milestone moment. A warm welcome also to our colleagues, our fellow IOCians who have joined in this webcast today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we move further, we have the safety plan on the screen, and I will request you all to kindly take a moment and go through it to mark the fire exits. Thank you. Tat andh ur ke bandhan star, baha janani ज्योतिर्मय निर्झर कलुष भेदतम हर प्रकाश भर जगमग जग कर दे वरदे वीणा वादिनी वरदे. महाकवि सूर्यकांत त्रिपाठी की इन पंक्तियों से माँ सरस्वती का आह्वान करते हुए मैं हमारे अध्यक्ष श्री श्रीकांत माधव वैद्य, डॉक्टर राम कुमार, श्री रंजन महापात्रा, श्री संदीप गुप्ता, श्री सतीश कुमार, श्री नानावरे, मैडम शुक्ला मिस्त्री और श्री सुजय चौधरी जी को दीप प्रज्वलन के लिए आमंत्रित करती हूँ।
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः। शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः। शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते। दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते। दीपज्योतिः परब्रह्म। दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः। दीपज्योतिः परब्रह्म। दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः। दीपो हरतु मे पापं। सन्ध्यादीप नमोऽस्तुते। ओ दीप ब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः। ओ दीप ब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः। आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च मतिं स्वच्छां हि मे सदा। रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत्। रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत्। यस्य तिष्ठेत् गृहे दीपः तस्य नास्ति दरिद्रता। शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम्।
Thank you, sirs and ma'am. Neil Armstrong once said, "Research is creating new knowledge, and knowledge is what we seek to bless our lives and the entire humanity." Let us pray to invoke that knowledge through our R&D Geet. We will now have the Indian Oil R&D Geet.
सच सुनिर्मित अनुपम छवि में देश के गौरव की पहचान। नमन करें इसको सब मिलकर, होता जिसमें अनुसंधान। उत्तम मानव संसाधन में गुणवत्ता नीति में श्रेष्ठ। गरिमा महिमानकों से अलंकृत इंडियन ऑयल का विशेष। उन्नत अपना कार्य क्षेत्र है, उन्नत अपना है विज्ञान। नमन करें इसको सब मिलकर, होता जिसमें अनुसंधान। तेल ग्रीस नैनो ईंधन परिशोधन, उत्प्रेरक धातु ईंधन विश्लेषण। पेट्रो सौर बायो वैकल्पिक ऊर्जा के क्षेत्रों में होते नित नए अन्वेषण। विकसित उत्पादों को मिलता है पर्यावरणीय परिधान। नमन करें इसको सब मिलकर, होता जिसमें अनुसंधान। गर्व करें हम अपने केंद्र पर, इसको मिले कई सम्मान। प्रगति को जिसने अपनाया है, बनता जिससे देश महान। पूर्ण समर्पित हो कार्यों में, करते रहे यही गुणगान। नमन करें इसको सब मिलकर, होता जिसमें अनुसंधान।
May I now invite Director R&D, Dr. Ram Kumar, to formally welcome our Chairman, Shri Vedya, to this landmark occasion and to Asia's finest commercial research institution. I would invite Dr. Deepak Saxena, ED LT, to welcome Director HR, Mr. Ranjan Mahapatra, with a potted plant. I invite Dr. G.S. Kapoor, EDIC, CT and TPF to welcome Director Finance, Mr. Sandeep Kumar Gupta. I invite Mr. Debashish Bhattacharya, ED Technology Implementation Cell, to kindly welcome Director Marketing, Mr. V. Satish Kumar. I invite Dr. Madhusudan Sau, ED Refining Technology, to welcome Director Pipelines, Mr. Nanavare. I invite Dr. Kannan, ED CT and TPF, to welcome Director Refineries, Madam Shukla Mistry. I invite Dr. Deepak Saxena, EDLT, to welcome Director Planning and Business Development, Mr. Sujay Chaudhary. Thank you so much. I would now invite Dr. Deepak Saxena, ED Loop Technology, to present a formal welcome address.
Thank you, ma'am. Respected founder fathers of Indian Oil R&D, Shri A.K. Arora ji, Dr. A.K. Bhatnagar ji, Shri N.R. Raje ji, Shri B.M. Bansal ji, Dr. R.P. Verma ji, Dr. Malhotra ji, and Shri B.P. Das ji. Respected Shri S.M. Vaidya ji, Chairman Indian Oil, Board of Directors, Dr. S.S.V. Ramakumar ji, Shri R.K. Mahapatra ji, Shri S.K. Gupta ji, Shri V. Satish Kumar ji, Shri D.S. Nanavare ji, Madam Shukla Mistry, and Shri Sujay Chaudhary ji. Respected invitees, senior members, Team R&D, members of Indian Oil family joined on the web, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. It is a proud moment for all R&Dians to have successfully completed 50 prestigious years, and we have all gathered here to celebrate Golden Jubilee with our mentors. On this auspicious occasion, I would like to welcome all the dignitaries. Stars shine at night. Some stars shine at bright daylight. It's our pleasure to welcome such stars, our founder fathers. We welcome you, sirs. I salute the captains of Indian Oil R&D for their exemplary service, devotion, commitment, and leading the organization. I am honored and privileged to welcome respected Shri Shrikant Madhav Vaidyaji, a visionary leader, mentor of R&D family, and highly respected in hydrocarbon industry. Sir, your belief in R&D team's capabilities boosted our confidence to take bold steps and achieve the targets. We celebrate your leadership, sir. He who puts his soul and heart in uplifting the others attains dignity. I welcome respected board of directors of Indian Oil who have always guided and backed Team R&D on each and every step. I also welcome to all the dignitaries who have played their part in nurturing Indian Oil R&D and making a great and respectable institution in the world. Last but not least, I sincerely welcome all my fellow colleagues of Team R&D. Once again, I welcome everyone to this Golden Jubilee function of R&D. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Indian Oil, Jai Indian Oil R&D. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Rome was not built in a day. When Indian Oil R&D debuted on 10th March way back in 1972 in the present campus, it was represented by an uninterrupted, whitewashed edifice, standing almost like an apology for a laboratory on a barren, snake-infested tract of land in Faridabad. The sprawling, over 60-acre lush green campus with state-of-the-art modern laboratories and pilot plants that you see today took years of painstaking labor, passion, and meticulous care. We proudly present to you the modern, cutting-edge R&D, Indian Oil R&D. We present to you a walkthrough of this campus built on the foundations laid by our seniors and former colleagues. We dedicate it to our founding fathers and senior former colleagues, and do hope the new additions will make you feel proud of the legacy that you have left behind. We also offer a glimpse of this modern campus to our fellow colleagues, the IOCians connected through this webcast. We will now have the R&D walkthrough film, please.
Hello friends, welcome to Indian Oil R&D. I am Medhu and I will show you how we are shaping India's energy future. Indian Oil R&D is one of the finest energy research institutions in the Asia-Pacific region, with its origin going 50 years back. A top team of expert scientists and engineers conducts pioneering work in various domains of energy research. It is a matter of pride for Indian Oil R&D. On average, every day, either a patent is filed or granted to Indian Oil. Friends, I'll be happy to show you around our sprawling world-class research facilities. Come with me. Crossing the lush green lawns, we have come to the Lubricants Technology Department. Indian Oil R&D is the birthplace of several world-class lubricants. Since inception of Indian Oil R&D, our scientists have developed over 7,000 grades of lubricants, greases, and specialty products encompassing every conceivable applications. Various lubricant grades are assessed for friction, wear, and field performance using state-of-the-art laboratory test simulations in the Tribology Laboratory. Now we have reached the Vehicle and Fuels Emissions Testing Lab. This engine test laboratory has 19 test benches for endurance tests. Rigorous testing of newly developed automotive lubricants and fuels is performed on chassis dynamometer. World-class transit engine and vehicle test facilities are available here to help us produce solutions with greater fuel economy and efficiency. Indian Oil R&D has also installed BS6 test bench to test automotive engines. Now we have come to the labs that are spearheading cutting-edge work in the area of green fuels. Indian Oil R&D goes about enhancing fuel quality by adding state-of-the-art additives that boost engine performance and protect the environment. Friends, we have now reached the zone where we innovate cutting-edge refining process and catalyst technologies. Indian Oil R&D has developed expertise to scale up process designs, including setting up labs and pilot plants, modeling and simulation. Indian Oil R&D has developed comprehensive kinetic models for different secondary processing units in refineries. These models capture the underlying reaction mechanism of a chemical reaction and enable the scale-up of indigenous process technologies. What you see now is the pilot plant of INMAX, that is our flagship refining technology. In this pilot plant, we use the feedstock characteristics provided by our clients, and INMAX catalyst is optimized to generate the desired propylene yield and other products. Similarly, we are equipped with state-of-art hydro-processing pilot plants, which are helpful as they support refineries for catalyst selection. Indian Oil R&D is doing extensive research work in high-quality bitumen derivatives and specialty products. Extensive research has enabled us to develop technologies for various bituminous products. Indian Oil R&D also offers technical services in the area of structural reliability analysis of refinery and pipeline infrastructure. The diagnostic studies cover failure analysis, plant life extension through remaining life assessment of high-temperature critical components, and advanced non-destructive assessment of critical refinery components. Friends, reliability and integrity of vast spread-out pipeline networks needs periodic assessment. This is done using Instrumented Pipeline Inspection Gauge (IPIG). Indian Oil R&D has developed and deployed magnetic flux leakage-based InScan series of IPIG tools of various sizes. The InScan series of IPIG tools have already been used for health check of over 10,000 kilometer pipelines. The petrochemical and polymer research at Indian Oil R&D is focused on development of polyethylene polypropylene catalysts, niche polymeric products like drag-reducing additive DRA, poly-alpha olefin PAO, and linear alpha olefin LAO, plastics circular economy, bioplastics, and development of new grades through post-reactor modifications. Now we come to another buzzing research domain, nanotechnology. Research activities here are focused on adoption of nanotechnology in different products. Indian Oil has introduced differentiated products in the market. Indane NanoCut is high thumb cutting gas fortified with nanoparticles for faster metal cutting. Indane Extra Tej is LPG boosted with nano additives for lower fuel consumption. Indian Oil Extra Guard is a highly effective anti-COVID surface disinfectant doped with silver nanoparticles. Indian Oil R&D is expanding its horizon in the field of alternative and renewable energy technologies. Research activities are progressing in the area of biofuels energy, HCNG, hydrogen production and storage, gasification, biomethanation, CO2 utilization, and solar energy. We can now see the IOC DBT Center for Advanced Bioenergy Research. The major focus of Indian Oil R&D is to develop and deploy viable second and third generation advanced biofuel technologies. Indian Oil R&D has installed and commissioned India's first multi-feed, multi-chemical integrated lignocellulosic biomass to ethanol pilot plant. This has enabled development of the most cost-effective process for indigenous 2G ethanol technology. Closely located is the Industrial Biotechnology Department, which has developed a unique technology for bioremediation of hydrocarbon waste and oil-contaminated soil. This is India's first state-of-the-art pilot plant for enzymatic CO2 capture. Indian Oil R&D has undertaken research in the areas of fuel cells and are developing ecosystem to deploy fuel cell technology to harness hydrogen as clean fuel. Indian Oil R&D is working to develop high-performance lead-acid battery. Work is also underway in the area of lithium-ion battery and aluminum-air batteries. The modern laboratories of Indian Oil R&D are equipped with state-of-the-art spectroscopic, chromatographic, and microscopic analytical equipments to support the ongoing research products in different domains. There is dedicated technology implementation cell for design and engineering of commercial plants based on technologies developed by Indian Oil R&D. Now, Indian Oil is spreading and coming up with new technology development and deployment center, which will reshape the energy landscape of the country. The second campus of Indian Oil R&D is being built on a 60-acre plot at an outlay of about rupees 3,200 crores. It will focus on developing a wide range of renewable energy technologies. Indian Oil R&D has catalyzed the corporation's transformation from technology adapter to a global technology licensor. I hope you enjoyed this tour of Indian Oil R&D. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in commemoration of the Golden Jubilee, a series of 7 webinars was conducted to enable sharing of thoughts and worldwide trends by globally renowned scientists and technocrats on topics that addressed emerging future trends and focused on the challenges of energy transition and sustainability of the oil and gas industry. The participation in this webinar series was not only limited to IOCians, but also open to our associated industries, academia, and technical societies. A total of 24 invited talks were held in this webinar series, spanning over 15 hours of detailed presentations. For the benefit of our colleagues and knowledge sharing, we have recorded the entire webinar series and compiled them in a compendium. We'll also be hosting the compendium on the intranet. I would request Chairman and Functional Directors to kindly unveil the Indian Oil R&D Golden Jubilee Webinar Compendium. Thank you, sir. Innovation rests on the belief that all great achievements start with an idea. And who knows its value, the value of an idea, more than Indian Oil R&D, that has lived on this principle for the last 50 years and kept a keen eye on the future to ensure our corporation remains ahead of the curve in meeting upcoming challenges. To celebrate the power of an idea, we had commissioned an ideation exercise during the Golden Jubilee year of our center with the theme Bhavishya ki Or, Swarna Jayanti Varsh Vichar Manthan. This exercise was led by Director R&D, who sent out a personal message to IOCians calling out for new and innovative ideas. IOCians donned their thinking hats, and we got an overwhelming response from all divisions. The proposals were screened and shortlisted by a committee of scientists at R&D Center and then assessed by a senior management committee led by Director R&D himself. After a rigorous screening process, we are happy to share that the finally selected ideas have been distilled and they are ready. These ideas are divided into 3 categories: Protsahan, Uttam and Shresht. The Protsahan category carries a certificate and a cash award of rupees 5,000. The Uttam category carries a certificate and a cash reward of rupees 10,000 for the winners. The Shresht category carries a certificate and a cash award of 25,000 per idea. Probably the best prize would be the fact and knowing that these ideas will be deployed across divisions to sort real-life business situations. It is indeed a proud moment for us to have in our midst the innovators of Indian Oil. I would now call the winners of the winning teams to come on stage, category-wise, and I would request Chairman to kindly present the appreciation certificates to the winners. I would also invite the directors on stage to kindly join in. The cash awards to the winners will be sent to their accounts shortly. To start with, I hereby call the winners of the Protsahan category. I invite Dr. Ajay Kumar Sharma from R&D, He came up with the idea of improving the IRR of 2G ethanol by bioconversion of xylose to xylitol without incurring any additional cost. Thank you. I invite Dr. KB Srinivas from the TIC group in Indian Oil R&D to come up on stage to receive the appreciation certificate from Chairman. The idea presented by Dr. KB Srinivas was multi-objective optimization software for process design and intensification through a digital twin. Thank you. I now come to the Uttam category and I invite Dr. Ravinder Kumar from Indian Oil R&D. He presented an idea to create an analytical dry lab at the R&D Center for strategic online operations and designing of new molecules. I now invite Mr. Suraj Tripathi from the Corporate Planning and Economic Studies Department at Corporate Office to please come forth. Suraj had presented the idea on study of specialized infrastructure for shifting to lithium-ion EV charging with limited space. Finally, calling out the winners of the Shrestha category on stage. As you can see on stage, a total of 4 ideas were actually selected for this category, and I'm going to call Mr. Sandoop Sharing Bhutia from Indian R&D on stage. Sandoop had presented the idea of valorization of FCC and coker off gas to high octane gasoline range of liquid fuels. I now invite Mr. Ajay Tiwari, currently in the HSE department at Refineries headquarters. He had presented an idea on value-added product from LLDP HDP swing unit at the Panipat naphtha cracker for the utilization of resin B. I invite Mr. Vineet Nath from Indian Oil R&D to please come on stage to collect his appreciation certificate for his idea on an integrated process for the production of BTEX from ethane. Finally, we have a big group from Gujarat Refinery and R&D. I invite Mr. Pankaj Patil, Ms. Megha Sojani, Mr. Nikunj Jain, Mr. KB Srinivas and Mr. Prasannajit Singh to come on the stage for their idea on reduction in sulfur content of Optimax rundown product by considering a feed preparation section. Heartiest congratulations to all the winners. Thank you so much, sirs and ma'am. Thank you. Dr. Ramkumar holds aloft the torch of responsibility of innovation with pride and elan. A career technocrat, Dr. Ramkumar is in a way the Chief Innovation Officer of Indian Oil. May I invite our Director R&D, Dr. Ramkumar, to please present the R&D journey thus far and share how Indian Oil R&D is inventing the future. Ladies and gentlemen, think innovation, think Indian Oil R&D.
This one. Respected founding fathers, past R&D heads who are present here in the auditorium to bless us on this momentous occasion. Respected Chairman Indian Oil, Sri Srikant Madhav Vaidya, and all my board colleagues who are sitting on the dais. The respected senior retired invitee participants, my colleagues, my senior colleagues who are sitting in the auditorium again, and those who are joining through the web. And finally, my beloved team R&D colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I, on my personal behalf, extend once again a very warm welcome on this momentous occasion of 51st Foundation Day of this great institution. And our Golden Jubilee celebrations are coming to a great finale today and further. So on this occasion, normally I used to present, for the past 5 to 6 years, I used to present the year that gone by, the year singularly that gone by, and the highlights of that particular year. But I thought it would be befitting this year to actually go down the memory lane and see what this R&D center has done to Indian Oil and to the nation in these 50 years of glorious existence. But believe me, I had a real tough time to put up this presentation of 15 minutes, that there are so many achievements which to be selected, which to be projected, which not to be projected. So me and my team put in a lot of deliberations, and we categorized the span of 50 years into definitive blocks of 5 years, and then in each of those 5 years, some of the key highlights I tried to depict in each of these slides, and which I am going to present to you, because this is only to show my gratitude to my past leaders, my gurus, Dr. Srivastav, Mr. Mehta. They were there who shaped my career and many of my colleagues' careers in the formative years, who is sitting there. I'm extremely glad. And all the past leaders, and of course the present leaders who are there, the entire board, presence of the entire board on the dais today shows the steadfast commitment of the apex management of Indian Oil for the cause of R&D and for the R&D. So let's first hear from them. And I want to make an opening statement even before showing the first slide. Whenever people talk about R&D in general, not Indian Oil R&D or any other R&D, normally in this country or in the globe, whenever R&D is being spoken, the two things that they say, these are the key metrics of measuring the effectiveness of R&D. One is the IP wealth that is created by the R&D to the organization, and second, how translational is the research. I'm very careful in using that word, translational. How much translational research that a given R&D is performing, maybe to the organization or maybe to the nation. So I just make this statement, and I'll come back to this statement at the end of my presentation. How much translational we are and how much IP wealth that we have created on those two key metrics, which are normally the global metrics to measure the R&D effectiveness on this planet. So it is titled, as Anshu was mentioning, R&D Journey Thus Far, Inventing the Future. When Dr. Malhotra was demitting the office in 2014, the R&D history was catalogued under his leadership by me and my co-authors, Dr. Kapoor and a couple of others, Mary Joseph, up to 2014 from 1917 with the same title, Inventing the Future. And today we are very happy to say that we have upgraded that book and we have added the later years starting from 2014 to 2022. And that book also is going to be released very soon. So early days, the precursors for the formation of R&D are by the time itself in 1972, even before 1972, Indian Oil is known as National Trust for Economic Prosperity. And then there is a joint venture company which is formed by the name Indian Oil Blending Limited, which was set up in 1963 between Indian Oil and the then Mobil to market the Mobil grade of lubricants in this country. Blended at IOBL under code, the formulations were under code and they used to be blended in IOBL and they are to be in the market. Then came the 1971 war, we all know, and the experience that the Indian Defence Forces were meted with by the then existing multinational oil companies. And so the government of India decided that there's an emergent need for indigenizing the lubricant technology to start with for Indian Defence Forces and lubricant technology per se for the civilian applications. And then this task was entrusted to Indian Oil. By the time itself, the Indian Oil, which is recognized as National Trust of Economic Prosperity, this national task was entrusted to Indian Oil, and Indian Oil decided to set up this R&D center. Thus came into being Indian Oil R&D Center on 1972, 10th of March. Genesis of R&D, and very close by, within few weeks, I think, within the 2 months or so, came the iconic brand Servo, which we recently celebrated under the leadership of our current chairman. We celebrated the 50 years of Servo. So in the first years, 1972 to 1981, 375 lubricating oil and grease formulations for defense were developed. That shows that at that point of time that almost catered the 90 to 95% of the Indian defense needs. You're seeing on the photograph young looking Mr. Mehta ji, who is exhibiting along with Dr. J. Saluwalia, who is the first founder head, our another iconic offering to the nation, that is Nutan. And Nutan went on to become a household name, and it has won Indian Oil R&D the first international recognition of WIPO. So Mehta ji, please see your younger days once again. And I know that you're seeing here. Then followed by the next block, 1982 to 86, it is reinforcing the servo singularly. We developed cationic bitumen emulsions, we developed turbine and gear oils and servo OM100. I am very happy to share to the younger lot of team R&D who may not be knowing this, OM100, which was developed way back 50 years, even till today, this is the reference product for defense sources. Even today, this is the unquestioned product of turbine oil. And our turbine oils and our system oils are today the benchmark products even today. Maybe there are several versions. Maybe the life has been increased from 9,000 hours to 10,000 hours to today it stands at 30,000 hours of toast life. But they are all the leading brands even till date. Rolling mill oils for steel plants, servoplex greases for railways. These are the marked milestones of that era. I might have missed many things, but this is what is my selection. Then comes the era of consolidation in 1987 to 1991. R&D, then I must mention in the previous slide, towards the end of this era of 1982 to 86, Dr. P.K. Mukhopadhyay took over as the first director of this R&D center, the legendary chemical engineer, and with him, the advent of chemical engineering research era started in Indian Oil R&D. We have already constituted towards the end of this phase CED, Chemical Engineering Department. Of course, that has been rechristened now to RT, Refining Technology. So the consolidation came. R&D services were offered, in a very quick span of time. The chemical engineering team set up the FCC catalyst evaluation facilities, and they not only offered these evaluation facilities to our own refineries but to outside people. And under the able guidance of Mr. Ghosh, who is also sitting here, Dr. Soban Ghosh, and Dr. R.P. Verma, who made a lateral entry from CSIR ecosystem to IOC R&D Center. They are in real sense, they are the founding fathers of research of two workhorses of refinery, the FCC stream and the hydroprocessing team. Under their able guidance, the infrastructure was done, and Dr. A.K. Bhatnagar, under his tenure as Director R&D, the technology restructuring plan was approved by the board, and there is a blueprint for hydroprocessing labs has been planned, and it has been approved. And there are several other grease products. Servogem Super, even till date, Servogem Super is a iconic industrial grease for steel industry with great customer acceptance. Servotherm thermic fluids were also developed during that phase. But I singled out one particular discovery or invention, that is titanium complex grease. It created flutter in the world grease community, and the leading global grease magazine, NLGI spokesman and Lubricants World, they ran a banner headline, "Can you walk on water?" Referring to this titanium complex grease, this is a novel thickener chemistry, and without any additives. The claim at that point of time was high degree of oxidation stability and water resistance and other things. Of course, afterwards this product has been transformed manifold, and even today it is one of the preferred grease product for ID fans, industrial fans, and the steel industry. Then comes the next phase, widening the horizons of 1992 to 1996. We are three batch. I might go little personal, because from here onwards, the R&D history, I am a close witness, close part of this, along with my other colleagues, Dr. Deepak Saxena and Dr. Majumdar. Today he could not make it to this function. And Dr. Srivastava specifically threw a challenge to us that, lubrication was conceived till that point of time is more an art form rather than a scientific form. So he asked us to transform this art form into science form by understanding the structure property relationship of the various additives that we use in lubricant form, and thus came our studies on additive-additive interactions. And the first paper on additive-additive interaction, co-authored by Dr. Srivastava, I hope he remembers, the Ware paper was published in 1992. The first paper which is cited till date. Last year I checked the citation index, 235 times it has been cited, as late as 2020. So then comes the iconic product of Servo Superior friction modified under the able guidance of Mr. Raje. The chassis dynamometer field trial studies have been conducted on Servo Superior friction modified 20W40, and believe me, this is the first Indian lubricant product which was recognized by Maruti Suzuki India Limited as the first Maruti genuine product, MGP. And at that point of time, both Maruti and Servo ran a banner headline in the media that leader recognizes the leader. I still remember that line, leader recognizes the leader. That is first engine oil. Then the gear oil, I think I was there in automotive lubricants at that point of time, associated with the development of servo gear HP Alpha. This is also an iconic product which, when it was developed for the next decade, this is the only gear oil that was approved by Maruti for 10 years. Commercially supplied 10 years. And there are several other Servo 40 Joom, which is an iconic brand even today, which is being relaunched and revisited several times, but that was launched at that point of time in this period. SHPDO, long drain, heavy duty diesel engine oils, energy efficient industrial gear oils, these are some of the highlights. On the refining front also, you see there was a historic movement by way of developing the first ZSM5 and BCA, which has been later rechristened as residue upgradation additive. And these two additives, even till date, believe me, they form the fulcrum of the Indimax catalyst, which is the formidable Indimax catalyst which goes into modern Indimax units today from Indian Oil R&D. Hydrocracker processing technologies were developed. Then first FCC catalyst evaluation service outside to BPCL at that point of time itself. Industrial biotechnology plants were conceptualized, and the service of crude assay to refineries and the IT department started the crude assay service at that point of time, and R&D was entrusted to do a detailed crude assay. And since then, every year we have to bid how many crudes that we can do the assay, and on an average 8 to 9 crudes detailed assay is being conducted from that time onwards. Then comes the 3 success stories in the lubricant side on the component based formulation under the able stewardship of Dr. Srivastava, Dr. Malhotra, Mr. Raje and Dr. Bhatnagar. Mr. A.K. Mehta was GM lubricant technology at that point of time. The Servomarine 4X series was approved after long prolonged trials. Servo RR 606 mg, which is the benchmark product for Indian Railways, the first multi-grade engine oil for Indian Railways, which made Indian Railways to save 1,000 crores since its inception. Just one lubricant, 1,000 crores. And for cement plants, industrial gearboxes of cement plants, 7% fuel efficiency, the energy efficient industrial gear oils. These are all outcomes of that one single concept which Dr. Srivastava prompted us to work on, is to shift from package based products to component based products. Selecting our own components, understanding the chemistry and the structure property relations. Food grade hexane at Gujarat refinery was commissioned. Demonstration of oilivorous technology for bioremediation oily sludge at Mathura and marketing locations. First hydroprocessing pilot plant was inaugurated, and we made forays into developing multifunctional fuel additive packages. Servo DS, Dr. A. Gupta is sitting here. His photograph in younger days is still, you can see it on the slide. Kero and lube markers, he is also very passionately associated with the development of Kero and lube makers. Dr. Gupta is here. And then the expanding the footprints, 2002 to 2016, first Inmax pilot plant at Guwahati under the able guidance of Mr. Raje and Dr. Bhatnagar, and after a series of efforts by several leaders, Dr. Ghosh, this is the first reckoning for Indian Oil R&D's refinery process technology. The first pilot plant at Guwahati was commissioned. Licensing of our additive technology to Suitchemy India Limited under Dr. Ghosh. First IPIG developed in collaboration with BARC. Marine shipboard oils. 2 iconic approvals of global OEMs, Wärtsilä and MAN BMW, and inauguration of the first hydrogen CNG and hydrogen dispensing station at R&D under the guidance of Dr. R.K. Malhotra, and first Shatabdi trial of biodiesel. Trans-esterification plant, Dr. Tuli was involved in this. This is the first patent filed in India by Indian Oil R&D, and a pilot plant is commissioned at that point of time. Then we diversified our portfolio in 2007 to 2011, and then came the new aircraft carrier to Indian Navy, INS Vikramaditya. It was towed from the Russian waters to Indian waters, first at Karwar port. And at that time, the Russian makers of this aircraft carrier, they said that there are 109 lubricant grades. And they have given the Russian grades, but they said that they are not going to supply anymore once these inventory is exhausted. So Indian Navy, naturally they approached IOC R&D that come what may, before the exhaustion of the current stock, you have to give the Indian equivalent. And believe me, in record time, more than 80 grades were indigenized from servo range. And today, INS Vikramaditya run on servo. Lubricity improvers for BS4 fuels, servo antioxidants. These are some of the key achievements of that era. But the most stunning achievement is our first DSDS catalyst based on NEMO platform, nickel and moly platform, which was tried in CPCL very successfully. And at that point of time, against the requirement of BS4 sulfur reduction levels, it has given much lower sulfur. So that has given enough confidence to our catalyst team to continue their journey on the catalyst. IMAX premium additive was also developed. 2011 also have seen two commissionings in the diesel and GSOM, light naphtha isomerization units at Bongaigaon refinery. Our bioinoculant technology for the refinery ETPs started being applied. And that's the time when during the period of Mr. Anand Kumar, late Mr. Anand Kumar as Director R&D, the new research has been started in petrochemical and nanotechnology laboratories. These laboratories were come. That was the time when Indian Oil actually, as a step of forward integration, has entered into petrochemical marketing, and so to boost to give support to our marketing services, the petrochemical research has been started. Then coming to 2012 and 16 era, I named it as innovation to fruition. Nanotechnology was started in 2010, and in 2016 we came with this idea of incorporating the nano substance in LPG, which was hitherto never thought of. And believe me, this is one of the fastest ever product that has come out of this center, barely in 9 months from concept to commercialization. And for the first time, under the leadership of Mr. BP Das, and when Mr. Ashok was the chairman of Indian Oil Corporation, this Indian Nanocot was launched from the very platform here. And Mr. BP Das would reminisce this moment. And Nanocot is a great success today, sir. Let me inform you that every year after year, it is rising its market share, and it is going great guns. And HCNG compact reformer plant also has been developed. And the biggest reckoning for refining technology is Indamax at Paradeep refinery. And with all the efforts of all the past leadership and the current leadership, I think world's one of the largest FCC unit, Indamax FCC unit, was successfully commissioned and dedicated to the nation by Honorable Prime Minister during that time. And DBT IOC Energy's Bioenergy Research Center, this is also another milestone development. This was, an agreement was signed between DBT and IOC to set up a center of excellence for conducting advanced bioenergy research. And the current principal scientific advisor and the then secretary DBT, Professor Vijay Raghavan, inaugurated. And you can see Mr. Buttola and Dr. Malhotra and Mr. Anand Kumar in the photo that I have depicted. This is also one of the landmark achievements for us. We have also co-processed vegetable oil for production of biodiesel in CPCL, 6% 6% we could able to do that. We developed a patented demethylation process to go with us. And the last phase is 2017 to 2021. It has, under the able guidance and stewardship of current chairman, I think he always tells me that along the course, you have forgotten your core competence. This is the first statement that he made when he assumed the office. So I replied to him that we have not forgotten the core competence, but the focus on lubricant portal was revitalized under your guidance, and probably what he mentioned and what I am going to mention is a series of products since then, 2017 or 2018 and 19, series of products which are differentiated products. I think chairman also will mention to you in his address, and several other initiatives. And today we can proudly say, with the array of refinery process technologies which are validated by us and adopted by us, today any refiner who wants to set up a greenfield refinery, 90% of technology can be provided by us, by Indian Oil R&D. I mean, with lot of responsibility and with lot of confidence, I am making this statement. There are only few open heart technologies like CDU, VDU, and maybe one hydrocracker technology is the one technology which we don't possess as yet. But rest of all secondary refinery process technologies, which will make a most modern refinery with a very high degree of Nelson factor, can be erected by our own technologies. And in the alternate energy zone, you all are aware, you must be reading in the newspapers, one experiment of IOC R&D caught the attention of the entire nation, where we ran 50 buses, 50 DTC buses using hydrogen CNG mixtures. And these hydrogen CNG we have not produced by physically blending it. It is through direct compact reforming, which is a patented process by Indian Oil. We set up a plant in Delhi Rajghat depot, and the trial is successful. 6 months we could able to run, and the results are extremely good. And this is a project monitored by, directed by Honorable Supreme Court, and we have filed the report back to Ministry, so that we are awaiting some legislative direction from the apex bodies so that we can replicate this. I'm sorry, I mean, I tend to exceed my time. That's what chairman says. But this is the occasion that I am entitled to exceed my time. I am entitled to exceed my time. This is the occasion. So during this time, this campus, after just in the run up to this 50 years function, this campus is now certified as a green campus. We have a green building certification to this. We are on the verge of scaling up the Ziegler-Natta catalyst. I must mention here, when in 2010 we started the petrochemical research, and when we decided that we want to work in Ziegler-Natta catalyst zone, Ziegler-Natta catalyst was awarded Nobel Prize, just to refresh your memory, in 1901. And since then, I think every conceivable discovery and intervention was already made. So we debated quite a bit that is it necessary for us to revisit this visit. But today I can proudly say to you, we have a strong patent portfolio of 60 patents around the geographies, around the global geographies, for Ziegler-Natta catalyst, for the precursors, and using them we have successfully scaled up 20 kg catalyst, and very soon by the encouragement of chairman and director refineries, we are going to take up the plant trial this year in our Panipat plant, and once this is there, then the self-reliance for this catalyst also will be achieved. Another success story is drag reducing additive. Not a single Indian player was there to supply this drag reducing additive, which is a prerequisite for smooth transportation of crude and products across the pipelines, and we were perennially dependent on foreign suppliers. And we started research 5 years back ab initio, at the test tube level, let me say that, at the test tube level, and block by block we could able to build a molecule of 2 crore Dalton units. That is the molecular weight that we could able to build, and we could able to successfully scale it up, and today we scaled it up, and our entire pipelines, whatever drag reducing additive that we are using today, it is going to be with this technology. Already commercial supplies have been started, not only to Indian Oil pipelines, but to the non-IOC pipelines as well. So I think pictures will be the worth 1,000 words. So in the peak of the COVID, the differentiated fuel XP100, chairman dispensing the first customer with XP100. We are all with our masks on. And the another iconic moment is that the Inmax, which is developed here, is now licensed back to Gazprom, a Russian refinery. This is the NIS Serbia. This is the photograph, and we could able to successfully develop the high flash high speed diesel, and we launched this to in the presence of the army top brass. First time we developed a lubricant with a partial percentage of used re-refined base oil, and we named them as Servo Green Raftar. Servo Green Mile and Servo Raftar, both for passenger cars of gasoline make and diesel make. Chairman and myself, we were present on the launch of these products. 10-inch diameter of one of the last dimensions that we developed, I think 2 years back on the foundation day, in the presence of Director General CSIR, the entire board were present in the unveiling of this latest dimension of the IPIG. Emily Max, Octamax, Ind Eco P2F. This is a little bit of a tongue twister in the name, but this is the waste plastic to BS6 diesel in a running delayed coker unit. This we have done it in Digboy, and we are going to continuously do this. And world's first CO2 valorization plant from CO2 to lipids and omega-3 fatty acids. As far as hydrogen is concerned, I think undoubtedly, again with all modesty, I can say that we represent the thought leadership of the country as far as hydrogen is concerned. I think we have the most comprehensive research and pilot and commercialization plans of ushering in hydrogen economy into various domains of India, whether it is industrial or the mobility segments. And we are working along the value chain of the hydrogen, starting from production to storage to transportation to the actual applications. So these are the plans of hydrogen. During the Golden Jubilee celebrations, you have seen the release of the compendium of various webinars that we have conducted. It started last year on 10th March when Dr. Mashelkar actually kick-started our Golden Jubilee celebrations. He addressed us as the chief guest on 10th of March 2021. And during the year, we have also announced the national essay competition for the school children to create awareness among them about the conservation of the oil products. And we have conducted in 2 categories. Today, I mean, this is we have received overwhelming response from various schools, pan-India basis, and more than 1,000 entries we have received. After 2-stage evaluation, today we are going to put up the winners list on the website of Indian Oil, and on 22nd March, in the finale function of this Golden Jubilee, the winners along with their teachers, they will be invited to the function to give them the award. We will be announcing the list of the winners today. So all these years, in the last 5 to 6 years, because the awards galore is many, I mean, if I have to list starting from WIPO first award that we received way back in 1970s or late 1970s till date, that itself would be a 1 hour presentation. But in the last 5 to 6 years, the peer recognition that we have received is, I can single out one. Of course, FIPPI, consecutive FIPPI awards, consecutive technology awards by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas we received. I'm not going to go into that. But as Dr. Verma and Dr. Ghosh, they also proudly remember and cherish the WPC award for hydroprocessing technologies. I can say for the INMAX, in the large FCC unit category at Istanbul in 2017, among a stiff competition of all multinational technology providers like Total and all, we could able to win this award. And in 2017, this is the highest award conferred on INMAX technology. So it's a great moment for every R&Dian and every IOCian. Every IOCian, in fact, the then chairman and myself were there. And also, personally, it is very gratifying to me. The stalwarts are sitting here who actually conceived the process and worked on the process. But the final international jury presentation was made by me. So I, with all modesty, I can say that it is extremely gratifying moment for me. It is not because of me, but it is because of the strength of technology that we could able to win this. So this is a great moment for me. And another great moment is that 1000 patent milestone in 2020. In 2020, we breached the 1000 patent milestone, and very soon we have already crossed 1500. On 22nd March this month, we are going to hand it over this IP wealth that we have created to the owner of this company, that is Government of India, under the presence of Chairman. Chairman is going to hand over that plaque to the owner of this company, whether it is Prime Minister or Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, that is yet to be decided. So I think the succession and the success rate of IP wealth creation in the last 5 to 6 years is extremely phenomenal. And in 2 years, see, in 2020 we just crossed 1000, and today we are standing at 1503, and believe me, not even one summary rejection from any geography, any patent office of the world. Maybe the claims might have been contrived, but never ever our application, whatever we have filed, is ever rejected. So that shows the sign of maturity of this R&D center and the collective strength and intellectual strength of this group. So second campus, Anshu told, and our walkthrough film also told, we are going to house 5 centers of excellence, which will lead us to this new era of energy, alternate energy. And this campus is going to be, thanks to the initial conception of Mr. B.P. Das, we acquired the land during his tenure, and then we planned, we made the feasibility report, we planned to the last equipment which is to be housed in this particular, and I thank Mr. Vaidya from this platform that he was instrumental in getting it board approval at such a unheard of quantum of investment, 3,200 crores. It was never such a large investment in R&D project ever conceived by not only Indian Oil, in the entire India, I must say. So thanks to your sagacity and to the support of the board. This campus is conceived to be platinum rated, net zero power, net zero water. Every time we are telling to ourselves, we planned it that way. Inshallah, we are going to achieve this, because not even a single drop of water will be drawn from the groundwater table. That is the target. And 9 megawatts of solar based electricity is going to be generated on an iconic scoop. You are seeing that in the 3D animation, the scoop which we are going to build, and Shaporji Palamji are constructing this campus. The construction is in full swing today. Uh, of course, it was delayed a little by the COVID interruptions, but I think we hope we are going to catch up this construction. So finally, so I'm coming back to my opening statement. If this is not translational research, then what is translational research? If this is not IP wealth creation, then what is IP wealth creation? On the two key metrics of R&D, I think my team R&D deserves a compliment that they could able to succeed and live up to the two key metrics of any R&D. So, but we are not one group who are going to sit on the past laurels. We are not going to be complacent. And this is the broad roadmap beyond 50. 50 is a very mature age for any organization or an individual. And so we need to be extremely mature. So beyond 50, what this R&D center is going to do and what is the agenda for this R&D. So I have listed few. I'll take a minute to narrate this. Leveraging nanotechnology for product differentiation in lubes, catalysts, solar and battery. Earlier we were working only in fuels and lubricants. But now we'll extend that to refinery catalysts, solar and battery. Solar, when I say solar wafers, electrolyzers, electrodes and battery technology. Expanding technology licensing portfolio with reinforced engineering design capabilities. Crude oil to chemical technologies, two of our concepts are already granted US patents. This year we are going to do the demo trials of our COTC concepts. Carbon capture, utilization and recycling, you must have seen in the walkthrough film. This is a mission mode project to us. This is a very passionate project for us. Country's first pilot plant is already there with us. And we are going to, our target is to reduce the cost of carbon capture to $25 per ton. Today it is hovering at $60 per ton. Bioenergy research to the next level with major interventions in synthetic biology, and we are going to set up a full-fledged synthetic biology laboratory in our second campus. Intensifying green hydrogen research, including electrolyzers, piloting battery and fuel cell research, conquering digital space with integrated technological solutions, and reaching 2000 patent milestone with 10% rate. Today we stand at 6% of commercialization rate of our patents, and our endeavor would be to raise it to at least 10. Global average is just about 5. It is even 4 today. So we want to achieve 10% rate of commercialization, and this is not a very long-term objective for us. This is a very near-term objective for us. And to articulate and summarize the entire future roadmap is to indulge in smart molecular management and exploring the electrons. Now the focus is more on exploring the electrons. So I think this is the journey thus far. I once again thank the guidance of the past leaders, past gurus, past mentors, and the present management, present chairman and board of directors. We remain steadfast as Team R&D for the cause of Indian Oil and to maintain the preeminence of that our corporation in the committee of other corporates. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this resounding presentation that highlighted the big and small victories of Indian Oil R&D and the golden, glorious milestones of the teams. Ladies and gentlemen, circa 1972, on a hot summer afternoon, a group of young men sat under the shade of a banyan tree on a desolate plot of land on the outskirts of the national capital. Hot summer winds blew, quenching their thirst from water drawn from ghadas. This bunch was the elite team of scientists and engineers tasked with the responsibility of building independent India's first commercial research center in the downstream petroleum industry and challenging the technological might of multinationals. We are proud to have in our midst today some of our seniors and founding fathers who built this institution brick by innovative brick. Their vision and leadership, which were in perfect harmony with the corporate vision, were the key drivers behind the institution and its achievements even at the corporate level. It is indeed an emotional moment for us and a matter of pride to celebrate you, sirs, on this milestone day in the journey of Indian Oil R&D. It is also a privilege for us to recall and recognize your contributions on this auspicious day. Starting with Dr. J.S. Ahluwalia. Dr. J.S. Ahluwalia was not able to join us today, but his exemplary service and leadership in initial conceptualization and creation of the R&D Center with focus on indigenous development and commercialization of lubricants under the brand name Servo is legendary. He led Indian Oil R&D from 1972 to 1981. We salute you, sir, for your spirit and extend a heartfelt gratitude. Mr. P.K. Goel is not able to join us today due to his failing health, but we recall with gratitude his leadership in nurturing the R&D team of scientists and engineers to lead the formulation, testing, and characterization facets of development and commercialization of servo lubricants. He led Indian Oil R&D from 1981 to 83. We salute you, sir, for your spirit and extend a heartfelt gratitude. We definitely miss your presence today. Late Dr. P.K. Mukhopadhyay is no more in our midst, but we strongly recognize and recall his leadership in initiation of refining and pipeline technology research domains at the R&D Center. He led Indian Oil R&D from 1984 to 1993. We salute you, sir, for your spirit and your guidance. I would now request Chairman and Director R&D to kindly step down for felicitating the former heads of R&D. Mr. A.K. Arora has nurtured the research domains with advanced laboratory infrastructure, extended R&D's domain to provide technical services to operating units, and facilitated the understanding of licensed process technologies. He led Indian Oil from 1995 to 98. I would request Chairman to kindly present the citation. Standing ovation to our former leaders, please. I would request Dr. Ramkumar to please present a memento to Arora, sir. And the special Golden Jubilee memento Thank you so much, sir. Dr. A.K. Bhatnagar provided leadership in restructuring R&D to augment facilities in fuels and lubricants, in the creation of pilot plants and diversification into biotechnology domain. He led Indian Oil R&D from 93 to 92. Mr. N.R. Raje provided leadership in establishing advanced engine test benches meeting international standards and helping the demonstration of Indamax. He led R&D from 2003 to 2005. Mr. B. M. Bansal led Indian Oil R&D during 2005 and helped put in place the process of due diligence and selection of the licensing partner for the Indamax technology. Dr. R.P. Verma led Indian Oil R&D during 2005 to 2006 and led the initiation of hydroprocessing research and development and deployment of the technologies. Late Mr. Satish Makhija is not in our midst anymore, but we recall with gratitude his contribution in initiating research in the pipeline transportation domain during the period he led R&D in 2007. Mr. Anand Kumar is also no more with us, but we recall with gratitude his leadership in diversification into petrochemicals, polymers, and nanotechnology research domains. We salute you, sirs, for your spirit and are grateful for your guidance. During his tenure as the leader of R&D in 2010 to 2014, Dr. R.K. Malhotra provided exemplary leadership Thank you, sir. Mr. B.P. Das led the diversification of research domains to include the development of value-added processes to refinery streams during his tenure from 2014 to 16. Mr. Suresh is not able to join us at this event today, but we are thankful for his leadership in enabling team R&D. So I will request your presence back on the stage. Thank you so much, sirs. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have the messages of our former leaders be present to you in AV, and let's see what they had to say.
I am pleased to send my best wishes and my heartiest congratulations to Indian Oil and to all the past and present R&D teams. We made a humble beginning with the lubricant technology and launched our own servo brand within time. Ever since, the center has achieved high level of market-driven excellence in diverse downstream technologies. Oil companies are now becoming energy companies. It is gratifying to note that to sustain Indian Oil's market leadership, R&D is getting ready to meet all the current and future technology challenges. R&D is a crown jewel of Indian Oil. May it flourish.
Even before joining IFC R&D Center, formally, I had been involved in the establishment of the center by participating actively in the discussions between the technical consultants from UK appointed by IFC R&D as also the R&D management. During my tenure in R&D for manpower, we took experienced scientists, engineers from the research labs in India as also abroad. In addition, we devised a training course with IIP Dehradun and selected young, bright engineers for the training course at IIP, which lasted about a year. We wanted to get as good results as the labs abroad. So we tested samples of unknown performance at our research center as also simultaneously in the labs of the foreign companies and compared the results and found them to be acceptable. Also, we have created the facilities to simulate the high altitude conditions of low pressure, low temperature. 50 years ago, when we started the research center, we wanted to be achieving similar performance as the labs abroad. I pray in next 25 years, you achieve such standard as to be envied by the researchers and the labs abroad. I congratulate the R&D Center and the persons working here on the achievements so far.
Dear IOCians, congratulations on the Golden Jubilee celebrations of IOC's R&D Center. On this historic occasion, my heartiest felicitations to the entire R&D setup, especially to its energetic and dynamic director, Dr. S.S.V. Ramakumar. That additional role of mine starting January 1995 was not of a pilot in the cockpit of R&D Center, but to be a facilitator and to nurture it. In fact, the Director R&D's position had not been filled since 1993 when the legendary Dr. P.K. Mukhopadhyay had retired after serving on IOC's board for 10 long years. I felt strongly that my crucial task was to generate a succession pipeline from within. The then chairman, Shri M.A. Pathan, supported it fully, and in July 1998, Chair returned to the R&D Center when Dr. A.K. Bhatnagar took over as Director R&D. During January 1995 to July 1998, the initial years of my tenure, the R&D teams had continued to excel in their pursuits. Dear IOCians, I do wish to reiterate that R&D setup is a precious jewel in the IOC's crown, and to my mind, it will remain forever देश के गौरव की पहचान.
My association with Indian Oil R&D started way back in early 80s. But my destination presumably was to be with Indian Oil R&D as the first time I was interviewed in London by Dr. J.S. Ahluwalia. And I was invited from MIT to come and give interview for joining Indian Oil R&D. But at that time it didn't work out. But finally I joined Indian Oil R&D in early 80s under the dynamic leadership of Dr. P.K. Mukhopadhyay. Achievements in Indian Oil R&D can be primarily classified into three areas. One area was the development of the infrastructure. And here, before I joined, basic facilities for chemical engineering were already created. But later on, I developed all the process operations in pilot plants, etc., for chemical engineering department, chemical engineering processes, then administrative building, new synthetic and biotech laboratory, and many other development in the infrastructure, equipping laboratories with new instruments, etc. And then coming exactly to the product development areas, I had very lucky in that it is very, very successful period where several new technologies were developed, like in the area of, say, greases. Titanium complex grease was developed, which is totally new molecule grease, which had really gave a big name to Indian Oil R&D because it was awarded Best National Award for Invention.
Heartiest congratulations to one and all on this momentous occasion. This occasion is not only special to the Indian Oil, but also particularly special for me because I joined Indian Oil in 1972 when this R&D center was conceived and started. For any big project, initial few years are very hard working because we have to set up temporary facilities, temporary offices, and many temporary laboratories, and etc. But over the years, the R&D center grown into a very spacious, sprawling complex with ultra-modern facilities for doing not only research but also innovative work and also a lot of testing which was required for developing the products. Within the overall Indian oil culture, R&D has grown and thrived as a backup of technology arm of the corporation. And over the years, R&D center has developed a lot of lubricant formulations which were essential for the business of Indian Oil. I am very proud to say that during my tenure, this INDMAX process was, the pilot plant was commissioned at Guwahati. I take this opportunity to congratulate Ram Kumar and the entire R&D team for their second campus, and I believe in that second campus we are going to develop a lot of new technologies, particularly in the alternate energy field and also the commercialization of the existing technologies. All the best from my side.
R&D Center of Indian Oil was set up in 1972, but I joined Indian Oil Corporation in 1974 at Gujarat Refinery. Initially, our interaction was only by sending some samples to R&D center for some special tests from refinery. But later in 1995, when I became Deputy General Manager Business Development, one part of my job was to sell the technology to other companies and other countries. In fact, Indian Oil R&D Center has been a big support to Indian Oil Corporation, whether it is marketing division or its pipeline division or its refineries. It has developed number of technologies for all these divisions. When I was promoted from ED Mathura Refinery to Director in R&D Center, and in my initial reviews, I just asked them that whatever job you are doing, how useful it is to Indian Oil Corporation and how you are able to commercialize your technologies. And then I said that whatever you do, Indian Oil is a commercial organization. It must be very, very useful to Indian Oil, as well as you should be able to commercialize your all the research work. Merely getting the patent and putting him in the cupboard is not the job of Indian Oil R&D Center. And this particular statement of mine was not very much appreciated. I could see from the faces of the people. But later on, soon they realized that what I talked made a sense, and they started working on that. And that time only we signed MOU with ABB Lumos to sell the technology of Indmex, which was so far not being taken by anybody, because they wanted some big engineering company to back this technology by designing and by marketing it. Now I see that Indian Oil is going into the futuristic technologies, the fuel cell, hydrogen fuel cell, and going for even development of EV batteries. So these are all very good technologies and futuristic technologies. Wish you all the best, and wish you all the best on the celebration of Golden Jubilee. Keep it up.
Dear fellow IOCians, my heartiest greetings on the auspicious occasion of Golden Jubilee of the foundation of our R&D Center. We, myself, Mr. Makhija and Dr. Ghosh, joined to start research in the area of refining process technologies as a part of second phase of R&D Center under the leadership of Dr. Mukhopadhyay, then Director R&D. The activities were initiated in the areas of FCC, distillation, scale-up, modeling and simulation, and pipeline research, and later hydroprocessing, cat reforming, isomerization, hydrogen generation, Marox type of process, drag reduction, IPIC, etc. were added to support our refineries and pipelines division. With the contributions of all my colleagues at all levels and support of Indian Oil and R&D managements, we could achieve success in our various endeavors in all fields of work at that time, that is, refining and loop technologies and alternate energy, especially development and commercialization of several refining technologies, including initiation to commercialization of hydroprocessing technology involving complex gas liquid solid reactor systems at Gujarat and Bongaigaon, and commercialization of Indmex technology at Paradeep, etc. These two flagship technologies not only earned global recognition by way of World Petroleum Congress awards in competition to MNC, but also added to unique achievements of our R&D Center. In the end, I wish to give two messages to our younger colleagues. One, have thorough knowledge and understanding of the theoretical aspects, as theory is never wrong unless not understood and are applied properly. Have a dedicated and committed approach in spite of various obstacles. Wishing the best for all future endeavors of our R&D Center. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Indian Oil and R&D Center.
On this day, when we have completed 50 years of service from this R&D Center to our company and to the country, I would like to greet all those who have been associated during these years. My best greetings and thanks to all of you. I have also been part of this journey for 37 years, starting with 1977 to 2014. This has been an exciting journey. I started when the temporary labs were there. It was the R&D center was being built up. I have seen each brick of this R&D center being laid and the labs being developed and constructed. We started with lubricant developments, as you know, and then the second phase, we had seen the refinery pilot plants and refinery research being taken up in this R&D center on FCC, hydroprocessing and pipelines. We also had significant developments around fuel quality and fuel additives, etc., which gave me also an opportunity to be on the national committees for auto fuel policy with Dr. Mashelkar. And then we had also transformed and got into the petrochemical research, nanotechnology, biotechnology. And when I assumed the position of Director R&D, the first thing which I did was to take Dr. Tuli with me to the Department of Biotechnology and sign an agreement for setting up the IUC DBT Bioenergy Center in this campus, which has been doing excellent work, and I'm very happy about it. We had also, during my tenure and previously, when I was in the earlier years, we had started the hydrogen research. Country's first hydrogen dispensing station was set up by us in this campus. Hydrogen CNG single-step reforming process was developed. We had also developed co-gasification of process for coal, petcoke and biomass. And we have done, we had started research in solar also. And I had a passion and a vision that we should have a alternative energy and environment center in under our R&D umbrella. I'm glad that this is happening in the new campus, where my successor, Dr. Ramkumar, has been very passionately taking it forward, and the board has been very supportive after I retired also. And I hope that this R&D center will continue to serve this great company of ours, Indian Oil, and the country in time to come. My best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
My greetings and congratulations to the past and present members of the R&D family on completing these glorious 50 years. My salute also to the captains of IOC and the founding fathers of R&D Center for their vision and diligence. The country way back in early 70s reposed its faith on IOC. The R&D Center grew in leaps and bounds beyond tribology, which is our hallmark. The center diversified into refining, petrochemicals, pipeline transport, nanotechnology, bio and solar energy solutions, fuel cells, energy storage systems, etc. The activities of the IOC R&D Center truly reflects that we are the energy of India. I am sure the second campus will go a long way in developing and commercializing state-of-the-art energy technologies. I offer my best wishes to the current and future members of Team R&D. Thank you so much.
Greetings to you all, the Golden Jubilee Year foundation of our R&D Center. 50 eventful years have gone by, and there will not be a better occasion other than this to remember and reminisce the founders, the forebears of this great institution with gratitude and reverence, and derive inspiration to up the ante and carve out the very best for this R&D Center in the years ahead. I strongly believe that this R&D Center's best moments are yet to come. As we enter into a fossil-free energy landscape, our R&D Center will play and is playing a stellar role in the primary energy model this country should adopt. We should also develop newer and purer energy resources. We should outline the role of natural gas and nuclear energy in the primary energy model, which is a raging controversy in Europe today. We should also examine geoengineering as a technique for mitigating global warming. I feel very special and privileged to be a part of this great institution, although for a fleeting moment. My generation was smarter than the earlier generation, and the next generation will be niftier than mine. That's how mankind evolves. The generation next will take this R&D to newer and greater heights. My best to you and your families. Thank you.
On this momentous occasion of Golden Jubilee celebrations of Indian Oil R&D, I extend my warm greetings to all those who are present here. I take this opportunity to thank all the founding fathers and past leaders of this great R&D center. I am fortunate to carry forward the good work done by these visionary leaders and also to break new grounds for this R&D center and also for the corporation. I assure all the visionary leaders who are sitting in this auditorium that Indian Oil R&D Center will continue to play the pivotal role in taking Indian Oil and the nation into new era of energy transition and will maintain the preeminence of Indian Oil for the years to come.
My heartiest congratulations.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Indian Oil R&D has always been at the forefront to develop high-performing and fuel-efficient lubricating oils in line with Indian and global regulations. The servo basket of lubricants from Indian Oil has a comprehensive range of engine oils meeting various performance credentials and industry specifications including emission standards. Now, our automotive lubricants development team has developed a futuristic grade Servo Pride FEFA4 10W30 to sustain Indian Oil's technological leadership in diesel engine oil segment. This engine oil meets the latest API specifications for fuel economy, and the new grade offers better fuel efficiency, higher fuel economy, and is environment friendly. We are proud to present to you the new Servo Pride FEFA4 engine oil for heavy duty diesel vehicles. First presenting to you the AV on servo.
Congratulate Indian Oil team for launching of Servo Pride FEFA4, a fuel-efficient diesel engine oil for heavy-duty vehicles. Understand that it is the first product launch in India under the fuel-efficient category. I am told that it is based on low SAPS additive technology and its core additive system which is backward compatible. This product meets API FA4, Cummins CES 287 and Detroit Diesel GDC 93K223 specifications in SAE 10W30 grade. This product is suitable for use in new class of diesel engine vehicle for on-highway application.
Celebrating 50 years of trust. Servo synonymous with Indian Oil R&D, yet another frontier conquered. On the grand occasion of the R&D Center's Golden Jubilee, I request Chairman to launch the new advanced servo engine oil grade in the Indian market. I would request all functional directors on the dais to kindly join in. I invite Dr. Deepak Saxena, ED LT R&D, and Mr. Subimal Mandal, ED Loops Marketing Head Office, to kindly come on stage and join in. So I would request you to kindly unveil. So one for the photo op, please. Quickly. Size matters. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, sirs, madam. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our chairman, Shri Shrikant Madhav Vaidya. Subimal sir. One moment, sir. To signify the launch in the Indian market. Born in R&D and reached to the customers by the marketing division. That's a partnership for keeps. Thank you so much. Our chairman, Shri Shrikant Madhav Vaidya, is a visionary leader. His leadership style has a unique flair and charisma, which is superbly balanced by discipline and focus. So we all admire and salute you for your passion and unwavering commitment towards the multidimensional growth of Indian Oil. May I invite you for your address, please? Your inspiring words will prove a shot in the arm for Team R&D's efforts.
Respected seniors who have joined us for the Golden Jubilee celebrations, my fellow board members on the Indian Oil Board, IOCians who have joined us today, Team R&D, ladies and gentlemen, I am indeed delighted to be amongst you all today. Let me begin by extending my heartiest congratulations to Team R&D on the 51st Foundation Day of this remarkable institute that is playing a central role in weaving India's energy future. Golden Jubilee marks a significant landmark in the journey of any organization. And as far as the Indian Oil R&D Center is concerned, the golden milestone celebrates 5 decades of the rich legacy that has powered the aspirational journey of the energy of India, that is Indian Oil. Today, let us look back at this illustrious journey and celebrate the contributions of the visionaries who have nurtured India's foremost energy research facility. We cannot but help marvel at the astuteness in creating this state-of-art R&D facility that has cemented Indian Oil's position as the change agent in the Indian energy landscape. Volatility has been the defining feature of the global energy sector for centuries as oil wars, oil shocks, oil spills have all pockmarked the Indian oil and the global oil industry. And even in the 21st century, oil remains entrenched in our energy basket. Near its peak at the Arab oil embargo in 1973, oil accounted for 46% of the global energy supply. In the recent global energy outlook, oil still has a share of 31% compared to 29% for coal and 22% for natural gas. Moreover, the current geopolitical disruptions have once again highlighted the global dependence on the oil and gas. The fast-growing rivals to fossil fuels, renewables such as wind, solar, hydro, and geothermal energy together account less than 4% today. Thus, it is implausible that the energy pie will change drastically soon, especially for an energy-hungry nation like India. However, in the long run, energy transition is inevitable. We can already see the renewable energy sources are undoubtedly expanding, and the e-mobility juggernaut is just starting to roll. Thus, for the oil companies, the danger is not an imminent collapse in demand, but the state of shifting in the investment strategies away from finding new sources of oil to finding new alternatives. Also, the immediate strategy catalyst for us is the global response to the climate change. At COP26, India presented a target to achieve net zero emissions by 2070. Now, as India's leading energy company, we have to cater to India's exponentially rising energy demand by focusing on the enhanced fueling efficiency and redesigning our energy basket. Let me tell you that the reconfigured energy basket will have enough legroom for all forms of fuel, including liquid, gaseous, and other forms of energy. The current oil and gas technologies can no more be seen in isolation because the modern energy canvas consists of several interdependent forces. The world of energy is getting revolutionized by the advent of multiple digital waves like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, cloud or virtualization, 3D printing, robots and drones, blockchains, and much more. These technologies enable us to roll out digitally differentiated products, expand our chemical portfolio and energy storage capabilities, while hydrogen is gradually taking center stage. At Indian Oil, we recognize this new technology landscape's immense opportunities. For the past several years, we have been harnessing the power of such opportunities to grow from a mere oil company to an integrated energy major. This inspirational transformation has to be catalyzed by scientific interventions ahead of time. Thus, it would not be an exaggeration to say that these exciting times for R&D scientists operating in the energy segment will be something that each one of you will cherish. Let me reiterate that modern energy leadership has to address our most pressing challenge of meeting the nation's growing energy demand with the least environmental impact. We have to approach this issue judiciously by using all available forms of energy to fulfill our short-term and medium-term commitments. However, our long-term strategy should be to progressively introduce cleaner and greener fuels and sources in the energy mix. Indian Oil R&D Center is the collective pride of IOCians across India. Since its inception in 1972, the center has delivered pioneering technological solutions to all business verticals of Indian Oil in lubricant technology, refining processes, pipeline transformation, catalysts, fuel additives, petrochemicals, and many more. The Center of Excellence has truly evolved into a world-class technology solution provider, equipped Indian Oil with an unassailable edge in the Indian oil industry. The path-breaking technologies nurtured in this center, like INMAX, DSDT, the lube oil formulations, pipeline inspection gauges, Octomax, catalysts, additives, and differentiated LPG, have genuinely redefined India's energy journey. In another major milestone in our endeavor to offer cleaner mobility solutions, Indian Oil R&D also pioneered the launch of hydrogen-enriched compressed natural gas, HCNG, at the Rajghat bus depot based on the patented partial reforming technology. I am happy that today we have launched Servopride FE FA4 oils having a lower HTHS viscosity profile, which has been well established as a direct contributor to improved fuel economy by reducing the energy consumed from drag between engine parts. Indian Oil's R&D is a knowledge powerhouse, driving India's aspirational Make in India, export from India outreaches, thereby consolidating the foundation of the Atmanirbhar Bharat. As the nation aims for a cleaner tomorrow, the R&D Center is now engaged in cutting-edge research in hydrogen technologies. These technologies include carbon dioxide utilization and sequestration, nanotechnology, battery storage, and hydrogen and fuel cells. The rising patent portfolio, which I have been told has crossed 1,500 landmark, is the highest among the oil and gas sector PSU organizations. The upcoming 60-acre state-of-art R&D campus will testify to the center's expanding horizon and is set to act as the hub of innovation in the era of energy transition. However, Team R&D has to keep resetting the bars of excellence and continuously aim for higher goals. You are shouldering the critical role of keeping our knowledge and expertise in sync with the changing market dynamics and energy slate. Thus, upskilling yourself is essential if Team R&D has to contribute in the sunrise areas. Skilling is even more crucial as Indian Oil evolves into a full-fledged integrated energy conglomerate. For every IOCN of Team R&D, let me underline the criticality of reinventing and repositioning yourself for customer-driven and commercialization-oriented research. Regarding knowledge and expertise upgrades, let me share a few key imperatives that I think should be your priority. Firstly, please focus on solutions for the masses. Remember that our central purpose is to satisfy the needs of ordinary Indians affordably, and the solutions must cater to the tenets of environmental friendliness. In simple words, you should evaluate any solution by asking yourself two elementary questions. Is it relevant to the changing energy paradigm? And is it reducing the carbon footprints? Secondly, keep the R&D goals aligned with the corporation's strategic goals. No game illustrates the science of strategy better than chess. Each piece has a definite function on the board, yet the ongoing dynamics of the game determine how each piece will move in different situations. Business is just like chess, and as the brains of the corporation, R&D has to stay in sync with the functional realities. Remember, the essence of strategy is the research domain, is to choose what to do and what not to do. Thirdly, you must know that the mandate is not to reinvent the wheel. Technology is taking over every aspect of our lives at a breathtaking pace. In mature sectors like oil and gas, almost all countries are trying to overcome common challenges. Thus, it is crucial to imbibe technological solutions based on our requirements rather than reinventing the wheel. Let me also underline the criticality of setting realistic targets. As I mentioned before, energy transition is inevitable with rising environmental concerns and compliances. Thus, while treading carefully towards future energy pathways, we must steer clear of our expectations of overnight miracles and stick to fundamentally sound and realistic approaches. Before I conclude, let me share that I expect Team Indian Oil R&D to prepare a challenging vision for its journey ahead, benchmarking itself with the best in the world. After all, the endeavor put in at this center will ensure the future success and sustainability of Indian Oil. Once again, my heartiest congratulations to Indian Oil Team R&D and best wishes for the next 50 years. Thank you and Jai Hind.
focus on solutions for masses based on the tenets of friendliness with environment. This and the other mantras, thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words for Team R&D, which will definitely be a shot in arm for our efforts to scale newer heights and take Indian Oil to the position of technology leadership in the research domains aligned with the corporation's goals. Thank you very much indeed, sir. To commemorate and mark today's special occasion, we have prepared a special memento, and I would invite Director R&D, Dr. Ramkumar, to please present the Indian Oil R&D Golden Jubilee memento to Chairman Mr. Shrikant Madhav Vaidya as a mark of our gratitude. Sir, please present a memento to Director HR, Mr. Ranjan Mahapatra. To Director Finance, Mr. Sandeep Kumar Gupta. Request you to please present a memento to Director Marketing, Mr. Satish Kumar. May kindly present a memento to Director Pipelines, Mr. Nanavare. May please present a memento to Madam Shukla Mistry, Director Refineries. May please present a memento to Director Planning and Business Development, Mr. Sujoy Chaudhary. Thank you very much indeed. अन्वेषण और अनुसंधान मनुष्य के डीएनए में है। खोजने और नए सृजन की ये प्यास ही हमें नई ऊंचाइयों तक लेकर जाती है, और इसका प्रमाण हमारे R&D सेंटर से बेहतर और कौन दे सकता है। हमारे सतत प्रयासों से ही इंडियन ऑयल को नई दिशा और नई ऊर्जा मिली है। आइए हम आज ये शपथ लें कि हम ये स्पिरिट जारी रखेंगे। 50 वर्षों की साधना का ये उत्सव अब 100 के अगले पड़ाव पर पहुंचकर ही रुकेगा और आगे चलता रहेगा। ईश्वर से प्रार्थना है कि अन्वेषण और अनुसंधान की ये यात्रा अनवरत चलती रहे। आज के इस माइलस्टोन कार्यक्रम में आप सभी की उपस्थिति और साझेदारी के लिए हार्दिक धन्यवाद। Heartfelt thanks to our founding fathers and the former heads of Indian Oil R&D. Gracious thanks to Chairman and all directors and all special invitees for their motivating presence on this special occasion. A big thank you to the members of the organizing team led by Dr. Deepak Saxena and Director R&D. अंत में यही कहना चाहूँगी, वर्ष 50 पूरे हुए, 100 की अब तैयारी है। खोज नई ऊर्जा की निरंतर ही जारी है। अनुसंधान की धारा अविरल बहती रहे। पुराने के साथ अब नए केंद्र की बारी है। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आज के इस कार्यक्रम में जुड़ने के लिए। With this, we come to the end of today's program. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Happy to share with you that we have put up a flower show on the sprawling lawns of the R&D Center, and I request our esteemed guests and invitees to please visit the flower show that is painstakingly set up by our projects department. And I request the R&D family here to kindly remain at your places and give the free passage and right of way first to our invitees, dignitaries, and special guests. Thank you very much. So may kindly join us for lunch.